Hey guys, Lotus Tech here, back and again with another video. So in this video, I thought I'd make a little bit of an unfair comparison in a way where we are comparing a modded Switch 1 to a regular Switch 2 over here. Now the reason I'm comparing this was because I thought that what is better, is a modded Switch 1 better or is a Switch 2 better when it comes to getting something today. So over here is my modded Switch 1, and as you can see, this thing is way smaller than this, but on hardware wise, this does win, but we'll get to that in a second. And right here is my Switch 2, which is just stock, and you know you can't even do anything to these. So let's talk hardware. Obviously, the Switch 2 is going to be better when it comes to hardware. We can see that we have these detachable Joy-Cons over here with the, what's it called, the mouse right here, which is something that's pretty nice to have. We can see the screen is way bigger, better quality, and a better refresh rate on this. I'm pretty sure they fixed Joy-Con drift, which is a benefit over here. And we have two USB ports, one up here, and we have one down here. And we can see that the stand is so much more bigger and it's better. The only downside with hardware, I think, when it comes to this is the SD card thing. I don't like that they have these new type of SD cards where you have to spend extra money just to get them. But that's just an issue I think I have with this. On the other hand, though, when it comes to this is obviously older, which has more flaws where the Joy-Cons feel small. These things, you don't even need to press the button and then they tend to slide out like that. They feel much smaller, and at first when I got my first Switch, I thought this thing was massive because I used to play on a 3DS a lot, but now playing on this, it felt big. But when you play with this thing, it feels big, and when you get used to it, this thing feels so tiny to use, which is something that might be a benefit to some people who like portability. Switch 1 is better for that, I think. Over here though, it's just a flimsy kickstand, and that's pretty much it. I like the SD card feature though on this one, where you can just use any SD card and it'll work just fine. This one, you need to get one of those proprietary express SD cards, which I find it kind of annoying. But software wise, this thing, I feel like Switch 1 is a little bit better. Reason I say it's better is because of the options you have. You get to use Homebrew, you get to get, for example, Tinfoil, which is basically a free shop over here. You can get all the games, everything that you want for free on your Nintendo Switch right here. You can basically get some Switch 2 games on this. Like, for example, Tears of the Kingdom, all these other stuff. And some games are coming out still on Switch 1 and Switch 2, so that's something. If you don't want to pay that, you can, I guess, get that on the modded Switch. Another thing is that you have more options for stuff to do. This one, you're only restricted to Switch 2 games and Switch 1 games and maybe just the Virtual Console, and that is it on the Switch 2. This one though, you can go to Game Boy Advance games, you can play PlayStation games, you can play Xbox, you can even use Linux, Android, PlayStation, Xbox. You can do whatever you want with this. Yes, there are some limitations when it comes to power because of how powerful this thing is, but for its size and for the time, this thing is still pretty good, and it still hands up really well today, where now we can see an even more increase of people buying a Switch just to mod them and have fun with them because of the Switch 2 coming out. So we can see that an album, we have so much more homebrew function over here than a regular Switch 2 would have at all, and that's fair. I feel like once this thing does get its homebrew, this thing will become unstoppable. This thing will be able to play Wii games emulated natively, PlayStation games natively. This thing, I feel like, is as powerful as a PS4 from what I heard. And this thing can probably emulate some stuff that's really well on this. This thing struggles to run Wii games sometimes. Depending on the game, it does struggle. So it is something to keep in mind when you're on Android, and Android's running natively, but when you're, well, running an emulator like Dolphin off Android on this, it does tend to struggle. If you were to do it on this though, however, it won't struggle. I'm more than confident to say that. This thing too is very powerful for what it is. This screen is nice. I like the way it feels in my hand. It's just much more comfier. This one feels more comfy because of these grips I added, so it just sits in my hand better, and it allows for a more playtime session. But I feel like at the end of the day though, spending $500 for a Switch 2 for really Switch 1 games doesn't make sense to me. And I bought this Switch because my original Switch right here did get banned because I factory reset it a long time ago and I forgot to run an MUMC. So that's something you want to keep in mind. But I got banned on this and I didn't really play on my Switch a lot, so I got this because I wanted to play some online games, but I still really don't play any online games. I feel like I would keep this Switch. I'll probably give this away, but I'm gonna buy another Switch 2 just to mod in the future, and when I can get a Switch 2 in the future, I will mod the hell out of it. But for this one, I feel like you can buy one of these really cheap. You can get a Switch tablet for less than $130 on eBay that's used. It might have some scratches, but you can just get the tablet itself for under $30, buy some knockoff Joy-Cons on Amazon for $20, and buy a jig for like $4 on Amazon, and you can really just mod a Switch for under $180. In some rare cases, even under $150 if you're lucky. I feel like that's something that some people might find more favorable because you can play a lot of games that this thing is offering for $150, and you don't need to spend $500 on this thing, and this thing has more capabilities as of today. The second this thing is to be able to mod, it'll be better for some people, I bet, and that might change your mind, but as of recording this, I feel like this is worth it if you are a hardcore Switch gamer and you really want to play the new games like I do, and you want to connect with your friends online and be up to date. But if you're more of a casual gamer, I don't know if this is really for you. I feel like buying a modded Switch right here and modding it yourself, you get that fun experience of just learning how to mod a console, and over here you get to play any game you want essentially for, you know, nothing, because you can find methods online to get what you want, or just dump your, you know, save files like that. You can use a make switch on these though, but you will get banned, so that's something there. But again though, if you want to play more, I don't know, I feel like a Switch 1 is better when it comes to software wise as of today, obviously because this can't be modded, but hardware wise this is better, so in a way it ties out. The second this thing is able to be modded, this thing would make this thing look obsolete. But you know, this is a quick little video I wanted to make because it was just something in my head, like what is better. So that's it for this video. I hope that you liked it, and goodbye.